Welcome back to ABoC Studio. In today's video, I will show you everything I know about Crochet Granny Square. The reason why I made this video is because I have so many Granny Square designs that I want to share with you and make tutorials of. And the pattern for this square, no matter how big and small they are, how many rounds you made them with, they are exactly the same. So I thought it would be silly if I just keep showing how to make a single Granny Square in every video. Besides, with a separate video, I will be able to show you all the tips and tricks and every details about Granny Square. For me, Granny Square is one of the best things about crochet. They're so versatile, you can turn them into anything you can think of. A dress, a hat, a scarf, a cardigan, pretty much anything. Then you can be so creative with the colors, and they're actually very easy and satisfying to make. After just a few time practice, I promise that Granny Square will become your no-brainer project. Please keep in mind that this tutorial is for a single Granny Square. The next video that I will release right after this one will be about how to join or attach Granny Squares together, because there are a few ways to do it, and I will show you two of my favorite ways. Now, before we get right into the work, I want to answer the very important question about how to choose yarn and hook size for your Granny Square project. And the answer is whatever you want it to be. It totally depends on how you want the fabric and the scale of the square to turn out. This square that I have right here, I made them with the exact same pattern. So logically, the bigger or thicker the yarn and the hook size, the larger the square, and vice versa. So when you think about it, if you need to use the same yarn, you can change the scale of the square, like making it bigger or smaller by just changing the hook size. And like so, you can make the square bigger by just using thicker yarn. So there's no strict rules, it's all up to you. Keep in mind that when you follow my tutorial for a specific Granny Square design or piece, say like a hat or a cardigan, which will be released shortly after this video, the recommended tools and materials will always be given in the beginning of the tutorial, together with the measurement of the square. Last but not least, the fabric of your square would also be different depending on the tools and materials that you choose. Here I show you the larger the hook, the softer and looser the fabric would turn out. And like this one, the smaller hook size would create tighter and stiffer fabric. And it's applied the same to this one. You can see that it's kind of looser and softer, while this one it's stiffer and tighter. Personally, I have no problem with these differences. They look perfectly nice and square and good to go for me, but I would use them for different purposes. Like with softer and looser square, I would use for something like a cardigan, top, or a scarf. And for a stiffer square, I would use for something like a hat or a bag, something like that. These are the tools and materials that you will see me using in this tutorial. These are acrylic yarn, bulky weight, category number 5, with a 5mm crochet hook. You're gonna need scissors, of course, and a bobby pin is recommended for beginners, especially absolute beginners. It's gonna make it easier for you to work in the chainring. Okay, the reason why I use this yarn for this tutorial is because it's nice and big, very easy to use. So I recommend you to use some kind of big yarn like bulky weight or Aran with a 4 or 5mm crochet hook. The stitches and the loop will be very easy to see and to recognize, so it's gonna make the process of making this square easier compared to using a small hook and a small yarn. Okay, so first we're gonna start with a chain ring. We always have an option of doing the magic ring, but for Granny Square I prefer using the chain ring because with a little trick that I will show you, we won't have to weave our tails in later. So first we need a slip knot, and it's very simple. You hold your yarn like this. This is the tail of your yarn and this is your working yarn. You're gonna put the working yarn on your tail to have a loop like that, okay? Now again with this working yarn, you put it from the behind and into the loop. into this loop, okay? So from the behind into this loop, and pull out another loop and tight. And that is our slip knot. Now you're gonna put the slip knot on your hook and then close it to the size of the hook. The loops on your hook should always stay close to the size of your hook. It shouldn't be too loose and shouldn't be too tight. It should have just enough space so that it's easy to work with, okay? We're gonna make a chain of 4, and to make chain you simply yarn over and pull through. Every time you yarn over and pull through like that, you make a chain. And that is our first chain shaped like little V, and a second one just like that, yarn over, pull through, 3 and 4. Okay, now we're gonna join this chain into a ring, and I recommend beginners to have a bobby pin and you put it right in the middle of your chain 4 like that, right in the middle. Okay, to join this chain into a ring, we're gonna slip stitch into the first chain right there. Okay, so you insert your hook into the first chain, and you also want to take the loop behind the chain. So take 2 loops of the chain like that, okay, just like that. Now for slip stitch, you're gonna yarn over and draw our loop like that, and then draw that same loop through the loop on your hook, and that's how we join the chain into the ring with a slip stitch. You see right here where we put our bobby pin is where we're gonna insert our hook to work our first round around the ring. Now for our first round, we're gonna chain 2, 1 and 2 like that, okay? Because I don't want to spend time to weave my tails in, that's why I use a little trick to bring this tail around the ring when I work the first round. You don't want to hang it behind the ring when you work your first row. Instead, you want to bring it together with the ring like that, and when we're working in the ring, we're working around the tail at the same time. So now moving on, we're gonna work our first double crochet into the ring. Remember to bring the tails with you. For double crochet, you're gonna first yarn over to have kind of like 2 loops on your hook, and then insert your hook into the ring. Then with the working yarn, you draw our loop. You see that you have 3 loops on your hook. You want to keep all the loops on your hook stay close to the sides of the hook. Now you're gonna yarn over and draw that yarn that you just yarn over through 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull that to both of the loops you have left to be back with 1 loop, and this is our first double crochet. Now again, we're gonna work another double crochet just the same way. Yarn over, insert your hook, draw our loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that is our second double crochet. Now you see here you have the chain 2, the first double crochet and second double crochet. Follow the pattern, we're gonna chain 2, 1 and 2, and then we're gonna work 3 double crochet again into the ring. Bring this tail along with the ring. Now 3 double crochet into the ring. Okay, you can actually put this bobby pin out already because with the stitches it's very obvious where to insert your hook. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook, draw our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and another one, now again you're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and work 3 double crochet into the ring. And you have another 3 double crochet together like that. Now we're gonna repeat the same thing. Chain 2 and work 3 double crochet into the ring. Now when we get here, we're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, and we're gonna slip stitch to finish the round. Okay, you can see here is your chain 2, the first V, 1, 2. You want to insert your hook into this second chain. So this is your double crochet stitches, and on top of each stitch you will see this V. Next to it is this chain 2 that we made at the very first place, 1, 2, and you want to insert your hook right into this second chain. So you insert your hook right in there. We don't need to take 2 loops here, okay? So you can just take like 1 loop of the V, draw our loop, draw that loop through the loop already on your hook, and now we're gonna bind off by chain 1, cut. You don't need a really long tail, so just cut, leave a little bit of a tail. And this is our first round of the granny square. Here when you turn, you will see this tail, and you actually can just cut it off right away because it is a chain ring and it's already have the very secure slip knot at the first place, and then when you make these stitches you already bring it along, so it's like in a circle. But I want to be like extra secure, so what I'm gonna do is that I pull this tail really tight, and then I just make a knot really close to where this tail comes from, like that. And then here I tuck this knot into the stitches a little bit, and then here I can cut really close to where it comes from. Okay, so now that we finished our first round of the granny square, I want to show you where is the wrong side and the right side. So this is the right side, where you see the loops on the right side are kind of nice and even, more nice and even, while with the wrong side the loops are kind of like messy, and you know what I mean, right? So this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So now we're gonna move on to our second round of the granny square. We're gonna change color, and this is the color that I will use. If you want to know how to make like a solid granny square with one color, I think I will include that in this video, or if I cannot, I will make another tutorial for it. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to attach the new yarn to work our second round, and I will show you a little trick that I like to use that will help us save the time to weave the ends in, which means these extra tails that we will have at the end of the round, we won't have to weave it in, we can just cut it off. Okay, so here's how I do it. First, make sure that the front of the granny square is up like this. With this new yarn, you're gonna insert it right in into this corner next to the last tail. Okay, so you insert it right here, and you're gonna tie this tail right in the middle of this corner and over this tail. Okay, and I'm just gonna do it like this, tight it, adjust it a little bit and tight it, and now you can just adjust the tail of the last round a little bit like that. Okay, and make sure that this new yarn is nice and tight. Adjust this a little bit, and now we're gonna tie this tail one more time together, these two tails together. Okay, and tied it. That's how we attach new yarn in. Now we can crochet with this new yarn, and remember to put these two tails to the opposite side of each other like this. Okay, and now we can work our next round with this new yarn. Remember to bring this tail along with this. Okay, you don't want to hang it behind the piece like this, so just leave it right there like that. Okay, we're gonna start our second round. by insert our hook into the corner where we attach new yarn in, bring our loop. Please don't mind this kind of knot right here, it won't matter, we're just gonna crochet over it. Okay, we're gonna chain 2, 1 and 2. Next, you will see in the pattern that we will work 2 double crochet into this corner, okay? And you want to work it over this tail and this knot right here. For double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, draw our loop like that, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. If you see that your stitch a little bit messed up here, you can bring it like that. Okay, now another double crochet into the same place. Alright, now you see we have like the chain 2 and 2 double crochet in this corner. Okay, so here I just want to show you that if this knot and the tail looks a little bit weird and off place, what you can do is that you just pull on this opposite tail a little bit and adjust it so that the knot and the tail go back inside the stitches. And yeah, you can just go on. Next, we're gonna chain 1. And when you look at the pattern, you see that we will work into this corner right here in the chain 2 space, okay? It's gonna be 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet into the same place. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, 3 double crochet like that, and then a chain 2, 1, 2, and then again 3 double crochet into the same place. 1, 2, 3, like that. You can see that we have a new corner right here. Now we're gonna chain 1, and then again 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet, okay? And like so, we're gonna chain 1 before we move to this corner, and again work 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet in the same place. Now when we get here, you see that each of this corner has 2 groups of 3 double crochet, right? And here you can see in this corner we only have 1 group of 3 double crochet. That's why we're gonna need 1 more group of 3 double crochet in here. So we're gonna chain 1 like that, and remember that you want to bring this tail, put this tail right here so that you can work your stitches over it when you work in the space, okay? So 3 double crochet, 1, 2 and 3. Now when you have 3 double crochet here, we still need to chain in this corner. So chain 2, and now we're gonna finish this round by joining it with a slip stitch. So again, you will see this chain 2 that you made at the very first place. In this group, you have 2 double crochet and a chain 2 count as a double crochet. You're gonna insert your hook into the chain 2, the first V and the second V here, okay? You insert your hook in there, right there, and with the working yarn, we bring our loop, and again bring that loop through the loop that we already have on our hook. Now we can just bind off by chain 1 and cut, leave a tail. Bring this loop out, tie it up, and that's it. This is our second round of our granny square. You can just adjust it a little bit so that it's nice and square. Alright, now when you look at the behind on the wrong side of the square here, you will see this two tail. You remember that we have two knots. The first knot where we attach new yarn. The second knot we tie these two tails together, and then we work double crochet over this tail. You just wanna like stretch it out a little bit to make sure that they stay in there nicely, and you can just cut it off like that, and we won't have to weave any tails in. Now moving on, we're gonna work our third round, and I will attach this same yarn that I did the first round. You can actually use any color you like to make a colorful granny square. The process of attaching this yarn in for the third round, it's just the same way we did for the second round. So I'm gonna do it real quick. Make sure that the front side is up. This tail you put right here. You insert the new yarn and then tie it right in the middle of the corner. Like so, and adjust this tail a little bit. Okay, one more time, and then we're gonna tie these two tails together. Alright, now put this tail to the opposite side of each other, and we're gonna start working our third round. In this corner, it's gonna be pretty much the same. You insert your hook in the same place, draw our loop, and do a chain 2. Then 2 double crochet into this same place. Work it over this tail and this knot right here. 2 double crochet. Second one. Okay. Next, you'll see that on this granny square, not only that we have the corner, but we start to have spaces in the side of the square. So this is the chain 1 space, and the corners are the chain 2 space. Before we move on and work in this space right here, we're gonna chain 1 like that, and work 3 double crochet into this chain 1 space. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Moving on, we're gonna work into this corner. So again, you need to chain 1 before move on to the new space. In the corner, which is this chain 2 space, we're gonna work 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet again, we're gonna move on to this chain 1 space. Again, we need a chain 1 and work 3 double crochet into this chain 1 space. Right? Now we're gonna again work in the corner. So first chain 1 and then work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet again. We chain 1, work 3 double crochet in the space, we are back to this first and last corner. And remember, you want to work over this tail. So we need a chain 1 and then 3 double crochet in the same space. Okay. You can adjust the tail a little bit so that, like that, okay? Now, 2 more double crochet. And of course, we're gonna need chain 2 for the corner. Chain 2. And now again, we're gonna join the round with a slip stitch into the second chain of the chain 2. So first chain, second chain, insert my hook in the second chain. Sometime if you cannot find your second chain, you can see this is the double crochet, double crochet. On top of each double crochet, you see a V, and next to it is this chain 2. So we insert a hook in the second chain, draw our loop, draw that loop through the loop on your hook, chain 1 to bind off. And then pull our yarn out, tied up. And this is granny square with 3 rounds. We can adjust the tail one more time to make sure they are nice and cut it off. Okay. Alright. And here is how a square look like. Now when you look at the reading pattern for the 4th round, you realize that is just the same as the pattern for the 3rd round. So what we do is that we attach new yarn in this corner next to the tails, then we chain 2, work 2 double crochet, then chain 1, work 3 double crochet in the chain 1 space, this space, chain 1, work 3 double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then for the corner we work 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet, and repeat that same process until we get back here. We will work 3 double crochet in this corner, then chain 2, then join the round with a slip stitch and bind off, and the process will be just the same, and your square will be bigger and bigger after each round. The only difference you will see is that in a smaller round, like this 3rd round, we have only 1 chain 1 space. When the 4th round, we have 2 chain 1 space, and just like that, in the 5th round, we have 3 chain 1 space. The next round, we have 4 chain 1 space, and that's how our granny square get bigger and bigger. The process will be very repetitive, so it's very easy to remember. Once you remember all the techniques and method, it will be very easy. So at this point, you can do the 4th round by yourself. I'm just gonna do it one more time, really quick. Already understand all the techniques and methods that we use to create a granny square, and you can make the granny square as small as you want or as big as you want. It's all up to you. Here I want to show you how to make a plain granny square with just one color of yarn. I'm using DK yarn with a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm at the end of the first round of the granny square pattern, and the reading pattern is just the same for plain granny square and color granny square. The only difference is the technique of how you move to the next round. In the color granny square, you after you join the round, you would bind off and switch to the new color. But here with the same yarn, I will show you how to move to the next round. So you chain 2 as usual for the corner. You slip stitch into the second chain, right? I've seen many ways in making one color granny square, and most of the time we're just gonna flip our work and work our second round from this. And I don't like to flip my work because when you look at our granny square, we have the front side and the back side, and the stitches look different, right? So I don't want to mix up front side and the wrong side of my stitches. That's why I don't want to flip my work. It's very simple. You just gonna make one more single crochet back into this corner, and then we just repeat the same pattern as the colored granny square. Okay, so you're gonna go back into the corner, draw our loop. You see you have 2 loops on your hook. Now you yarn over and pull through. Okay, from now we're just gonna repeat the same process for the granny square, which we're gonna chain 2, work 2 double crochet in the corner, 1 and 2, and then now you see the process will be the same. Chain 1, work 3 double crochet and chain 2 and 3 double crochet, all the way until the end, and I will meet you at the end of this round to show you one more time what to do. Okay, okay, so here I'm at the end. I'm gonna chain 1 and work 3 double crochet into this first corner, and 3, and of course a chain 2 for the corner, and we're gonna slip stitch to join the round. And now, just as what I showed you before, you go back into the corner, draw our loop, yarn over, pull through, and that is a single crochet. Now chain 2 and repeat the same process of making the granny square.